Ibukun leader, a boardroom trailblazer, and global change maker. I thought your hands would just be, you know. She's a globally respected business leader, entrepreneur, and advocate for ethical leadership and economic empowerment. She made history as the first female chairperson of First Bank of Nigeria, the country's oldest and largest financial institution, established in 1894. Under her leadership, she strengthened corporate governance and financial inclusion in one of Africa's most influential banks. Her impact extends beyond banking. She's a powerhouse in entrepreneurship, social transformation, and global advisory. Education, University of Ife, Obafemi Awolowo University, Nigeria, Bachelor's in Chemistry, IESE Business School, Spain, Global Executive MBA, Lagos Business School, Chief Executive Program, Global CEO Program, Wharton, IESE, and CEIBS. A sought-after voice in global business strategy, she serves on the International Advisory Board of IESE Business School, Barcelona, shaping the next generation of business leaders. As founder and CEO of the Chair Center Group, she has built a thriving multinational conglomerate specializing in furniture manufacturing, retail, and security systems. Her leadership extends to corporate boards, including Cadbury Nigeria PLC, the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, and the Convention on Business Integrity. In 2022, she was appointed to the Binance Global Advisory Board, underscoring her influence in emerging financial and technological ecosystem. But that's not all. But then again, who were you expecting to come and meet? Driving social impact and a woman's leadership. Passionate about human capital development, Mrs. Awosika is a co-founder and past chairperson of WIMBIZ, Africa's leading platform for women in leadership. She also founded the After School Graduate Development Center to tackle youth unemployment and the Christian Missionary Fund, which supports over 800 missionaries across Nigeria with medical, educational, and economic resources. Amongst her many, many, many awards and recognitions, there is the International Women Entrepreneurial Challenge Award, first Nigerian recipient nominated by the U.S. Department of State. Your hands should be you should be grabbing your hands. Forbes Women Africa Chairperson Award 2020, recognized for exceptional corporate leadership. 100 Most Influential African Women 2023 by Advance Media, among many, many more. Ibukun's Awosika's career embodies visionary leadership, resilience, and a commitment to fostering ethical business practices. As a global speaker, boardroom strategist, and advocate for economic transformation, she continues to shape industries, inspire entrepreneurs, and redefine leadership across Africa, the UAE, Europe, and America. She's married to Awosika and is a proud mother of 3 sons. But there's one part that is missing. Who knows what part is missing in this whole write-up? Any guesses? Yes? Oh yeah, there's that, but that's not what.
For me, the part that is missing is that she's a mother to millions of women and men.
There's that. Any other one? There's one powerful one that is missing. Like, why are you in Dubai?
The leadership. Yes.
She's the convener and the powerhouse behind the International Women Leadership Conference. The one and only Mrs. Ibukun Awosika.
Thank you so much, Ma, for the honor. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We are not taking this for granted because having a powerhouse in the building just by divine grace, and mommy has had a very busy schedule this past few days, and she still deemed it fit to honor us by coming here to the TIWC is still on my head. It's still engraved in my brain. And she still deemed it fit to be here with us to have a brunch this afternoon. So I am not taking it for granted. And I am where I am today by the virtue of great women like Mommy Awosika in my life. And if you check my life, all the women in my life are older women. And one of the people who has been a great mentor to me for years has been Mommy Awosika. Sometimes, one of the things I also picked from Mommy Awosika was sneakers. She loves to be comfortable. And I picked that from Mommy. And sometimes I tell myself, why do you have to wear heels if it's not comfortable? Don't you see Mommy Awosika? She wears sneakers and she looks so amazing in her outfit. And today I was going to wear heels and I said, no, I'm going to wear sneakers. You have to be comfortable today. I remember, money with me. Beautiful, thank you so much, Ma. And we have amazing women who are here today. And I know you all have beautiful, amazing questions in the house for Mommy. But before I call her Mommy, I have a few people I call Mommy in my life. So you can call her Mrs. Awosika, but I'm used to calling her Mommy because she's my mother. And we'll be calling on Mommy in a short while to come tell us a little bit. She's not going to be standing up. Remember, it's an interactive session. But I've told you, let your questions be brief, let it be short, and of course, let it make sense. It's very important. And before we also go into that, I want to celebrate Mommy's sister in the house. You're welcome, man. Thank you so much for being here. And I also, okay, Mrs. Gori Oyefolu, thank you so much for being here with us. And please, if you want to have access to Bobby, you better connect with her sister so you can get easy access. Okay, so Ma, you have been the convener of this amazing, powerful, wonderful, awesome. Come on, give. And for me, the International Women's Conference is not just basically about bringing women to just come to Dubai and have fun in Dubai. It's really powerful. One of the things that's been ringing in my brain since I attended recently, because Mommy gave us an assignment and she said there was a question she asked, and I had to write all the questions down. But one question that never stopped ringing in my brain, I thought I knew myself, but I kept asking myself, Bisi, who are you? How many people remember that question? How many? Ladies that attended, how many of you remember? I do. And she explained about who are you from being the perspective of being a wife, a mother, a career, a businesswoman. And every day, as much as I've written who I am, I keep asking myself. And now intentionally what I'm asking myself this question is to stay true to myself. And not just stay true to myself, also not to forget my purpose and my vision of who I want to be and what I want to be. And for me, Mommy Awosika has been able to really explain and break this down. So if you are not in the, because there are some people who did not attend the International Women's Conference who are here in the house today, so you might not really understand what I'm saying. But next year, you want to ensure you register this year so you don't miss out. So you have been able to bring women to Dubai, doing business in this country, coming for these conferences over the years. I want to know, Ma, what is your vision behind this? And how have you been able to manage bringing them to have a global horizon? And some of them now, I see a few of them have started business even in Dubai, which is applaudable. So how can women also in this age and time begin to think of coming and to be able to live the dream of their life, to be able to help women think local? Because you have showed us a true example. Anything you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. Please, can we have a mic for Mommy Awosika? There's no mic? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Bisi. Thank you everyone for your very warm welcome. Like I've introduced, this is Gori Efulu. And honestly, the vision that drives most things that I do is really that my desire is a more equitable society at any point in time. And a 50% of the world population is made up of women. And any small business person should know that if you have 50% of your assets underutilized, you can't really solve it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to drive the rest of your economy or your business with just half of the capacity that you have. And in nations, in communities, in companies of the world, we have this asset that's in women. Being a girl and being raised by a father who raised us up to think there's nothing we couldn't do. I didn't remember I was supposed to think about something I couldn't do because I'm a girl. So the world started asking me, weren't you afraid? Because in my house, you weren't raised to be afraid to do anything. We were largely girls, but my father prepared us to do anything we wanted. So that colored my world. And I've sat in places, and I've also realized that it's boring if you don't have enough diversity. That's just, I don't want to be first of anything. I don't also want to be the only woman in anything. I think it's, you have to have a low self-worth to thrive on being the only one or first of something in 2025. Doesn't make any sense. So, but I've also realized that culturally and society-wise, especially for all of us of Black descendants and our societies, and in many other cultures across the world, the nurturing of men and women is different. And the nurturing defines the mindset. And if your mind is defined to work from a lower level of expectation based on where you should be ambitious to go. For those who were at the conference, I opened the conference with a song that I said they should play. See, the first day I heard a clip of that song, it spoke so much to me, simply because it had every component of what I perceived the Lord was saying to me when I got the theme for this year as Women in Leadership, Leading the Dream. And somebody had a post, I can't remember whose post now, and that person took a picture of each slide about the song, the message. That remember when you were a little girl, all the dreams you had. You wanted to be an astronaut, you wanted to be this. Nobody ever told you it was wrong because they thought you were a kid. They assumed you're going to outgrow it and you're going to find your level. But that as you got older, you laid your dreams down. That if it's not big enough to scare you, it's not worth it. And what is it that sort of takes you away from it? Your fears, your sense of inadequacy, and all of that. The song is actually very prescriptive in terms of details. So I just told my team, go and find me the full song, because I need. So when I listened to the entire thing, I said, okay, this is coming with me for the opening of the conference. Because I want people to have to think that, look, if I had dreams growing up, and then I became a big girl, where did it go? Where should it go? And it's also why we talk about, okay, so I get married. Yes, but did my core disappear? It never did. It's simply that then I got married. I should marry the person that will enhance the manifestation of my core, of my dreams, of who I am. I should be comfortable with my dreams. I should never apologize for my dreams, no matter how big. My husband is in Dubai. Hey, but he arrived the morning the conference was going to start, and he did not stay in Dubai. Went straight to Ras Al Khaimah and stayed in a hotel in Ras Al Khaimah. Why? He wanted me to be free without any distraction, to do everything that he knew I love to do, and I'll be happy with it. Came back only into Dubai yesterday because he knew I was done with the conference. But even there, I have 2 sessions to do yesterday of different groups, and I'm out today to do now. But he knows this is it. He leaves tomorrow morning. So literally, I remember the first conference. He came from London to pick me up at the airport. And then we went in together because he said, okay, while you stay and finish your conference, I'll go to London and wait for you and come back. So you deserve to find a husband that brings the addition into your life and supports your dreams and allows you the space for your expression. Nations deserve to use the talent and the gifts that their women bring. Companies deserve to use the minds of the women within their workforce to find solutions for the problems that they face. And women deserve to lead their dreams. So at the end, it's a combination of all of those things that makes me feel, you know, every privilege you have a responsibility that goes with it. So the privilege of sitting in the places I've sat, or having the opportunities I've had, is that it's impossible for me to just sit back, know the problems, have some sense of the things we might be able to do to move it forward, and then sit on it. That would be a useless actually. So I guess that's what drives the things I do.
Come on, is that all we're going to do? So I'm sure our questions are ready. I will ask one final question, and before we begin to dig into our starters, if you have questions, please, you want to identify and let us know you have questions. So, Ma, thank you for that. I believe that our ladies is getting in. You have to write, please do write. If you have a notepad, I'm almost in the mood of saying, somebody should help me get my notepad and my pen. Let me have another session here and write it down. Okay, Ma, but why exactly have you chosen Dubai as a destination for us to continue to have this conference? Looking at the fact that we have diverse women from different parts of the world, why not in another country where we would have, of course, I know we partnered with the Dubai Tourism, and they have actually been really supportive. But why Dubai? Why not any other country?
A fair question, and I get asked a lot about why Dubai. In fact, as I announced at the conference that we're having the African marketplace in November in Dubai, there were some senior ladies who came to me. Well, why do you want them to spend the money in Dubai and not in Africa? And I said, no, what Africa needs is export. So all the inflation on the continent is driven by scarcity of foreign exchange. So what Africa needs is to sell internationally and take the money back. So she said, oh, I didn't think about it. And I said, yes, I did. Because that's my work to make sure that I've thought through why. So the whole essence of the African marketplace is to get African products, and then a lot of amazing small, medium-sized businesses creating good products, but they don't have the market force. And on their own, they can't afford the push to get good products on the market. So creating a common platform that allows all of them visibility should help us in many ways to drive some economic value back to the continent. You know, sometimes as a business person, you have to be unemotional about the decisions that you make. What was the vision behind the International Women Leadership Conference for me? I wanted a place where women of Afro descendants, especially, because now we have women from the rest of the world as part of the conference. But women from Afro descendants especially, to find a place where they feel like one tribe. And for them to feel like one tribe, I need them in a neutral place. A place where they're not caught on, oh, it's Ghanaian, it's Ghanaian conference, it's Nigerian conference, South African conference. I don't care about that. Women are in minority in power in all of those nations, including the Caribbean. And I wanted a common ground that would be fun for women. Women love Dubai because they can shop. Okay, that would be fun for women. That would have the infrastructure that is required for me to deliver a world-class conference. Now, you know, we have a perception of African brands. And the perception is always that what comes out of Africa is mediocre and is lower quality. And we know that's not true. But if you don't fight perception by hearsay, you fight it by presenting reality. And so for me, it was about delivering a world-class conference in the name of Africa, wherever I have the infrastructure to be able to do that. And Dubai represents a dreamland because it's a place where you can dream and you can make things happen that didn't exist. I came to Dubai for about 42 years ago or so. I was 18, 19. I was going to the World Junior Chambers International Conference in Seoul, South Korea. I was still in uni, and we took a flight, British Airways from London. Dubai was an outpost where they always transited to the flight after 7 hours. The airport was barely bigger than anything. You know, you all go to the gold super and it looks like this massive gold place. They just had this long counter that had gold, some jewelry and watches. It was a really tiny airport. There was nothing. So I've never forgotten that I saw that Dubai as a teenager. And then I've been coming to Dubai for, I don't know, almost about 20 years as it's transited. And I've seen the transition as well. So it's a place where dreams come true. They also understand their vision. See, when you work with the people who understand their own vision, they make it easier for you to deliver on your vision. So in partnering with DET, look, there was a point a few years ago where they themselves went around the world and picked people, I don't know what criteria they used, or picked people and just gave them golden visas to have access into Dubai. So when they asked me, I'm like, am I going to pay tax in the country? I'm going to pay it in my country, not in Europe. I asked 1,000,001 questions. Literally, they should have just said, you know what, just go.
We are not giving you.
No, it's true. I had nuisance factor in terms of the way I asked the question. Because I'm like, why? You know, and the person was talking to me, said, no, it's just, you know, we just think you have value and all of that. So I said, okay. We're going to do this. Well, in my house, if I'm going to do something like that, it has to be, you give it to my family. It's not, you can't do one and leave the other. It's not useful to me if you don't give it to my husband and I, you know, and all of that. Anyway, they sorted that out. I think it was the time Nigeria and Dubai had some issues. No, it was Emirates that wasn't flying into Nigeria and stuff like that. You know, about a few years ago, about 5 years ago, so it was 2021. And they said, oh, don't worry. Can you fly from Ghana? And we said, yeah, I can. I said, okay. We told the Emirates in Accra that they should take you. These are the papers, they already have it. But if you get there and they ask you any question, you have it. So we flew to Accra, took Emirates from Accra. Arrived there trying to give the immigration the paper. The guy said, no. He had it on his system. We came in, it's true. And the next morning, I think we went to do medical for like 30 minutes or so, and then somebody came to the hotel, collected our passports, went away, came back 2 days after and said, we're going to some office to do biometric. We went to do biometric, came back, dropped us at the hotel, gave us our passports back, and they already had 10 years. So I remember I had a meeting with the person who was sent to talk to me initially, and I said, I don't like to take things from people and not do anything back. Right? It's true. Like, I don't take things from people and not do anything location for. I said, give me some time. But if you know me, I'm very obsessive about things. Once I decide I want to do something, I don't sleep until I do it right. 2 weeks after, I called the person and said, okay, I'm ready now. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. This is what I need. If you guys are going to work with me on this. And we came back and said, consider it done. We'll work with you. And that year, this was June, we had the first conference in the year, the next month. So it's really, I think, preparation and opportunity night. They had, if they didn't have what I needed, no matter what, they would not have been the option. So I think Dubai facilitates you to get things done if you know what you want to do. And I think that's part of why. Yeah. Why would I have the African marketplace here? Is also because it's an easier hub for African countries and an easier place for African brands to strive. And because it's a natural shopping space, if you create an African marketplace here, people already come with the mindset to buy diverse goods from every part of the world. So why would you have Chinatown and not an African town? So for me, that's what's driving the next level of wanting to do the African market. It's really, okay, this is a hub, and let's create a hub for Africans and African descent. And when I say that, for me, the greater Africa is the Caribbeans, so they're included in the plan of. Yesterday, I told myself that I wish I didn't announce on
the
Friday.
last day here.
That way, if I'm too tired to do it, I can get it really late. But that I've gone public, which means I don't have a choice but to do that. It's only 6 months to the date I gave. I actually gave you guys dates.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll
Yes.
deliver. Just with that. So I think that's it.
Sorry, before the questions, I have never heard this. Like,
Part of
I have
the story.
never heard this, to be honest. And that's to tell you how much of a person of value we all have to be. When you have value, value will chase you. Imagine they had to pick Mommy Awosika from Africa. The same Africa you all will just bastardize, not you. But some people bastardize. To give her a golden visa. A number of people, but for them to pick Mommy out of the whole of Africa to give her the golden visa, that's to tell you that you need to have value. People pay to get this, but she got it without paying. You don't understand. They pay millions. After that time, they will pay millions of dirhams together, and she got it without paying a dime. Come on, put your hands together once again.
So just to reiterate what Mrs. Awosika just said, the story about the golden visa is not to be shared on social media. So remember what I said, I'm a journalist, that's my headline. So please, keep the headline to this room and not to be shared on social media. Thank you very much. So Q&A time. Ladies, as discussed, we want you to keep your questions succinct. Make it as much as possible, make it relatable to the room. But of course, if it's just something that applies to just you, I think that's also fine. So who's going first? So I saw her first. I'll do that, and then we'll take it around. Unfortunately, we only have one mic, but we'll make the best on it.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Gochinyera Sanili. I'm an educator here in the UAE, and I've just started my business off in Nigeria. This is a big honor to be in front of you and asking you this question. Thank you so much. I just wanted to ask, because from your biography and from some of the things you've done, you're both someone that's into academic as well as a business person. I would like to ask, how were you able to transition from as a worker into business, and then even while still in business, you're able to hold different positions in different academia organizations or corporate organizations? That's what I need to know more.
So if I may, we can take maybe 2 or 3 questions. 3 questions, great. I'll come to you, and then you'll be my third.
Good afternoon, Ma, and thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. My name is Lulu Olufemi. I'm based in Scotland. I'm a change management consultant. And what I'm looking to build up is a change management education business. So training, coaching, resources, and I'm particularly looking to help those in developing countries, so leaders and teams, all on change management. And the model that I'm looking at is really to partner, with people on ground in these different locations. Nigeria likely to be one of the first locations outside of the UK. So I would just love to hear any advice you have to give of, partnering, in other countries. Just any experiences you've had, any advice you'd like to share. Thank you. Come on.
My name is Faith Abasa. I'm here from Port Harcourt. I consider myself a serial entrepreneur. I have multiple businesses. I'm a filmmaker, I'm a scriptwriter, director. I have a lounge, I have a food market, I have a bistro, and it seems like a lot, and then I now decide that I want to go into politics. My question really is, with all of these things I'm doing, I'm thinking of going into politics. How do I know I'm an entrepreneur and I don't just have ADHD? That's my question. I do things, I feel I pick up on it when I start, I'm succeeding, I bored, I go on to the next one. I just want to know, is it ADHD? How do I differentiate what is going on with me?
I guess multi-potentiality versus focus on one thing. So we have our first 3 questions, and then we'll have.
Okay, let me start from how. I'm starting from you. The thing is, sometimes we're not thorough about determining where we should apply our resources and our energy to. It looks right, it looks like an opportunity. Someone's done it around us, it makes sense. Thank you. It seems like something that we can do easily, and we'll jump on it. Okay. What I've found is sometimes it's also part of the journey. Okay, you're sort of exploring, but somewhere along the line you're going to find what is the premium option of all your options. See, there are many things we can do at average. There are things we can do at 6 to 7, and there are those things where 10 and a bit more. But many times we're not patient enough to try and walk through all the things that look about right to find the one that's actually right. All right? So, one of the things I always teach in a class when it comes to that is write down everything that catches your fancy. All these options you're looking at. Let A and B compete. And one of the easiest ways you can make them compete, do a SWOT analysis test of A and a SWOT analysis test of B. You will see which one makes the most sense for you, for your market, for your opportunities and your resources. If A trumps B, B is gone. A remains. take A against C. If C beats A, it doesn't matter how much A won the first instance, B becomes it, as C becomes it. If you compare all of your names, at the end, you probably end up with about 2. And when you have those 2, then do that market analysis again between those 2 options. And then ask yourself which one will you die doing. That's where your interest is. And you try and pursue that. See, the 10,000-hour rule seems like it's for the oldies, but don't ever kill yourself, even if you're a Gen Z. The reality is, when you build capacity and strength and brand in something, you gain ground. There's no one that plays in the field. It's like saying, Apple hasn't changed business. How many years after? They continue to give you options. You're on iPhone 16. They will get to 17, 18, and 19 of the same phone. And you're going to buy. Why? Because they earned their stripes saying, there's something to this iPhone. It makes sense. I can continue to give you an improved version of it, and you continue to build accessories that work with it. Because if you walk into an Apple store, everything that is said is tied to the iPhone. So it's the Mac and the phone, and everything else is the support system. And they have a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they've not had to change. Now, technology can make a business obsolete. As you've seen, some businesses have come because they didn't change fast enough. They got lost. VHS, Betamax was destroyed by VHS. They were competing at the same time. VHS won. But what destroyed VHS? This. After this, what happened? MP3 and all that. And from one thing to the other, and now we're in a different generation. So it's really, when you find that area of your core interest, then learn how to build your reputation. You know what building one thing sustainably does? It earns you credibility. It shows your perseverance. It shows your long suffering. It shows your diligence. You dig deep, and therefore you're able to innovate more within it because you know the business, the industry, and you're not ignoring the noises around it. And every time, in every industry as it emerges, there are many competitors, but there are many people that act like you do now, which means they do it for a short while, they abandon and they go. See, before you left any business, you had some market share, no matter how small. When you leave, somebody takes it. It's the guy who stays in that sweeps up everybody's market share. Until at the end, there's only 1 or 2 people who control. So what you need to find is a place where you are the one that control. So I don't know if it's ADHD because I'm not a doctor, but I know that the things that catch your interest, if you discipline yourself to solve through and dig deep, you will find a stable part of it. Doesn't mean it's finite. I can use myself as an example. Somebody asked a question about leaving a career to go into business. Well, I didn't even have much of that because I finished university and I did my youth service, which is 1 year of work, and then I went to a company to work to kill time for 3.5 months. But that kill time business for that company became the business I built a manufacturing group on for 36 years. But I never thought about it before I went there. Now, the question you need to ask, am I stuck in that business for 36 years? No. Because as far back as 12 years ago, I stopped being at the center of my business. So my business runs itself with its people. So when people say founder CEO, I'm not CEO, I'm founder. Because other people run it. But what happened is from 25 years or 26 when I started the business, and as I moved in different things around the business, diversified into the security systems, built multiple industries within furniture manufacturing and all of that. I learned different things. I expanded the things I put my hands to that I dropped, because I soon found out they didn't work for me. There were things I put my hands to that I dropped because I realized they were getting in the way of my goal and they didn't have any special value. So I dropped them. So the experimenting stages are there, but you must also have the liberty to know when it's not fitting in and make that call. So I did all of that. But you know, at a stage when companies started asking me to serve on their boards, I discovered a new level of my skills. So I'm still busy being an entrepreneur, and then I got sought after to serve on corporate boards. And the learnings there revealed that the things I had gathered, the knowledge I gathered, building my own business, with my hands dirty, working, was a very valuable asset in the world. But at the end of a season of that, what I then learned about myself the most is that the best skill that I actually have is a strategic mind. And that strategic mind is what makes it possible for me to work across multiple industries without restriction. So when they say, oh, I'm serving on the board of this, FMCG, this industry, that industry, and I cut across, they're all different. But for me, I don't fear that anymore because I realize my mind is the tool. When you present the facts of your industry, what my mind does is process solution. So I recognize my own skills. So part of what you're doing as you're working through that, pay attention. What have you figured out the most about yourself that helps you to then know which option is really better? That will be the end result of that process. Now, if you think you want to do politics because the opportunity is there or because you have real interest, you need to sort that out because that's a high cost game. And you want to be sure that the price is worth it. So learn to make intentional calls for your life. Don't just, life is an adventure, but make sure that you're wise in choosing the path because some will cost you and you can't reverse the cost. So be sure about that. So I hope I've answered your question in trying to do that. How long was about what to partnership?
Yes, partnering in other countries.
Okay, so where you live in the UK right now,
Yes.
Scotland, you said. Okay. So have you done any partnership before now?
No.
No. So have you built a reputation that you take value to another country in your current market?
I need to continue to do that. I have some value. My name is known to an extent, but more can be done to really elevate that, for sure. Yeah.
So because when you want to partner, you have to present a value. So you must identify what is the value I'm taking in that makes the other person feel they need in partnership rather than doing it on their own. If you go in without value, they will hear you, they will see the value of what you're saying, but they will feel you don't have value to give them. And that's when people say, oh, you're stolen your idea. If they evaluate and they feel that they can do it, they don't see any reason to pay the price of the partnership, then there's a cost to that. On the other hand, if you pick a country where it's a low-hanging fruit and you find the right person there, yes, you can still partner, but don't try and do many at the same time. If you haven't built strength at home, it's always difficult if you try to stretch across. Build strength first, okay? So that no matter what happens when you are out, you're not, the value you have at home isn't destroyed because it's strong enough to take. So build your brand at home, start exploring the partnership, and then see the risk is always that sometimes you might find a partner that is bigger than you, but why should they work with you? You need to answer that. Alright? So I would say build strength at home first. Okay? When you build strength, keep your eyes open. Because sometimes you have random opportunity that comes. all right? And then what is your unique proposition? The value you want to give to that country. Have you really investigated they don't have it already? Because I find people that are abroad always think nothing is happening in the African countries. But you get there and find 10,000 of those things you think you want to take back that's already there. So be thorough in determining that the value is not already there. All right? And if it's there and you have yours, find someone who is more equitable and say, look, you have the knowledge for this area, I have the knowledge for this area. What can we do together as a companion? And then we can move from there. And part of the way you can do it is go for fairs in Nigeria or in Africa, whichever country you want to. The industry you want to participate in, when they have either conferences or fairs within that industry, go. You might not be exhibiting or anything, just walk around and listen to all the options, because they will gather there.
Yeah.
And then you see whose spirit bears witness with your own spirit.
Thank you. That's great advice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So before we take the next set of questions, just a quick request that we do not do any live streaming. So like Instagram streaming, Facebook streaming, none of that. Again, as you already know, that Mrs. Awosika is very generous in sharing, and certain things are not for the public in that sense. So, and you can't tell when she's going to drop the one that's not for the public. So please, no live streaming. We'll also like you to, as much as possible, restrict yourselves from even recording at all. As much as possible. I know it's hard. So our next set, one, right?